Now let's move on to the actual childbirth, and one of the things I know that over time, I mean in the olden days would have every woman give birth naturally, and of course that sometimes has complications, but in today's age there is a notion, especially there's a concern of pain, and there's an option of cesarean section. Now as a doctor, from a doctor's perspective, what would you advise one to do if there are no complications? Because I think one of the things that you know, somebody may have mentioned, I was reading somewhere, that the advantage of cesarean section is that you can actually time it. You can say that I'll go into labor on this particular day, and of course now go through the process. But what's your opinion on that?
I think we've got to be careful about what has happened in the past and what is happening presently. I think nothing has actually changed much over the years, and it's still encouraged that you actually women go through the natural process, because that's the less risky of deliveries. So we only recommend cesarean sections when there are clear indications on why we need to do it. And some of the indications could be that the afterbirth or placenta is in the way of the baby, or the baby is coming with the bottom first, and those are clear indications for cesarean section. Otherwise, the aim is to try and keep things as natural as possible. And I'm quite sure that women who have gone through a natural birth really appreciate how good it is, and they're back on their feet very quickly, looking after their children without the problem and the risks of a cesarean section. So we usually recommend cesarean section when there are clear indications, the most common of which during labor the baby can become unhappy. That means the heart rate may go up or start to drop, and that's a clear indication for cesarean section. So we aim to have things natural, and that's the default actually. Cesarean section on requests are still quite very few, and we usually want to be sure that we can address the woman's concerns. And a lot of the things, as you rightly pointed out, is usually about pain relief, and we know that we have options of making a woman comfortable and probably avoid an unnecessary cesarean section.
Okay, so there is no particular advantage of the cesarean section apart from the fact that if there is a health concern, a risk involved.
I mean, apart from what you said before, the timing of it, you know the day when the baby is going to be born, really all the risks of a cesarean section are maternal. So the bleeding, infection, blood clots and things like that, a risk of accidentally injuring an internal organ are all maternal risks. The baby will obviously come out bouncing, and usually babies don't actually have much problem apart from a small risk of breathing problems, because a bit of stress of labor is actually thought to be good for babies. So apart from that, the disadvantage is actually,
yeah. Okay.